Well, hey everyone, having a bit of a heat wave up here on the mountain. It's presently 86 degrees and supposed to have a high at 91. That's the hottest temperatures so far this year. But you know, we have some shade and a little bit of breeze up here, and it's tolerable. Haven't been doing any work really, except this morning, first thing in the morning, before it got too sunny, we had split up a bunch of our old dry pine logs, split it small for the fire pit. And it's really good firewood for the fire pit because it flares up really good, and then it doesn't leave any coals. It just burns down to ash, and it's much safer that way, because when I burn hardwood in the fire pit and then I'm going to leave it, you know, at night or whatever, I usually douse it. But this stuff, within a short amount of time, it's not throwing any heat anymore, you know, the ash. So it works out really good. So got a little of that stacked up. I'm going to cover it, and that's all the work I'm going to do. I've been out enjoying my boat. I'll be sharing that restoration project with you here very soon, but I've been out with that, and it's just awesome. I'm just loving it. So just the other day, we got back from the New York cabin. I've been really curious to see how the trees are health-wise compared to here. Here, things are not looking good with the pines. We go shopping in Claremont about every 1 to 2 weeks, and we had went and everything was normal, and then it was 10 days and we went and we couldn't believe our eyes. All the pine trees, the entire hillsides, everything had turned brown within a 10-day time. And that's freaky, because the only thing that is going to make a tree turn brown within that short of a time is poison. This is toxic fallout from the crap that is being sprayed in the sky, and it's wreaking havoc on the environment and everyone's respiratory systems. Some call it geoengineering. Scientists call it stratospheric aerosol injection. Harvard scientists call it an umbrella for the earth. But the White House calls it halting the climate crisis using science, which leads you astray from the truth behind it. But I'll elaborate further on another day in another video. I have been researching this stuff for about 12 years now and tracking the tanker planes for 3 years. And during this 3 years' time, I have watched jets come here from as far away as Kansas. They'll take off, come all the way over here in a straight line, and then loop around for 2.5 hours. They go up to the Laconia area, down to Concord, right over us, through Claremont, up to Rutland, Vermont area. And I've been watching this, and they do the same thing over the Adirondacks for 3 years. And during this 3 years' time, I have been watching the forest go to hell. It is just dying off here now. I have 3 apple trees, and these were really nice 3 years ago. Last year they looked really, really sick. This year they looked sicker, and now they are nearly dead. And you come over here and you look at the branches, and they're crispy, right? They're dead. There's nothing left to them. So after seeing what happened to the pine trees in 10 days' time, I was really curious to see how the trees were looking up at the cabin. I said that that spray circle goes up as far as Rutland, Vermont. Well, once we got up about maybe 100 miles above Rutland, the pines were looking like they should, and when we got to the cabin, everything was looking really good. You look at the stand of pine here, these young ones. There's 12 inches of new growth on that one there. This here, the central leader, God, it's that, got to be almost 20 inches. And today is June 15th. They look like they're supposed to. These young ones over here. I mean, look at this. This has got, it's got to be about 24 inches of new growth already this year. Let's go look at my spruce. You can see the difference in coloration from last year's growth, the darker green. This was the end of the new growth from last year from this point to there. And then this is the new growth from this year, this summer. Growing up. Looking good. Really happy to see that these still look healthy. I was really happy to see that the trees were looking good. Even though the winters up there are a lot colder than they are here, the environment is looking a lot better. That's got to say for something. Yeah, so as you can see, up above all that crazy circling, things are looking as they should. And we were happy about that. So we went up to the cabin to have a good time, and we certainly did. I'll discuss more of that doom and gloom stuff with you and share my findings at another time, but let's switch over to some good times at the cabin. Now, except for mowing that road, which is a half a mile long, and 6 passes with the mower means I pushed that mower for 3 miles. And after doing that, I had a serious appetite and a thirst to take care of. Mama's cooking.
Gonna do some Dutch oven tonight. So we're gonna use one of our formulations from when we had the spice business. This is one of our black and blends. We're gonna let this cook in the Dutch oven and have a little sippy.
Oh, it's good already.
Yeah. Okay.
Put a little trivet in the bottom just to keep the dish off the bottom here a little bit, and things won't burn that way.
Uh-oh.
No, it doesn't fit, Mama.
I see. There we go.
Okay.
Supper's cooking.
Get this fire perked back up so I can replenish the coals.
All right, you do that and I'll go get you a sip.
A sip. Sippity-doo-dah.
Sippity yay. So what's your temperature gauge say?
300 degrees in that pot. So it'll cook just as quick as any old oven. It'd be great. But if those were ribs, we would cook it a lot slower. But the chicken thighs, yeah, that'll be good. And we got stuff to replenish the coals here in a bit. And pretty good with this.
Seltzer and sparkling ice.
This is Pinot Noir, nice red wine with black cherry seltzer. Really good summer drink. Nice wine spritzer. Although this one's getting a little weak and getting down.
Just enough for color.
Yeah. I'm not like I need any more color.
Sure smells good.
Put a little coals around the pot. I don't want to put it on top and have it cook from the top down too much. I don't want them to turn black. If I put too much heat on the top, it'll be like a broiler, you know. Don't want that because they're ground up just about perfect as they are. And that pie plate that's cooking on, that was the original cookware from the camp up on the mountain. And we're still cooking with it. We got a little nostalgia going on here at the cabin. How long you think it's been in?
I think about hour 15 minutes. Oh, they look good.
Look at that.
They look
Coming.
good.
Cooking just perfect. They're not too hot on the top. They're not turning black. Bubbling nice. Wonderful. Look at that.
Yeah, it looks yummy.
Very good.
All right, let's
Perfect.
eat.
Look at that. Oh, it's falling apart.
What do you think, Phil? I see that little nose going.
Frankie and the boss out walking in the woods, living life happy and free. Tracks in the snow everywhere they go. There's a pokey way up in that tree. A beaver built a pond where they have some fun, taking life a day at a time. Best friends until the end. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss. Frankie and the boss.